Robert Plank Show, episode 228. Are you afraid? Here's why I ask if you're afraid. A bunch of years ago, it was around the holidays, and I was hanging out with some friends. We were playing Monopoly, and you might know that it's the sort of game that leaves a lot of players super angry at the end. Well, I didn't mind it too much that one of the guys in our group kept making us start over. As in, if he was the one who was down on his money, even if the rest of us were doing well, he would suddenly act super sad and push and prod us until we gave in and restarted the game. If he was raking in the money in Monopoly, he had no problem continuing that game, even if others were having trouble. It's just a game and we were having fun, and I don't think we actually saw a complete game through to completion that night, but it got me thinking. Imagine if that friend of mine, now I didn't know him that well and he was just someone's brother who happened to be there, but imagine if that person had seen one of our games through. Now maybe he'd still lose, or maybe he would have come out of one of those tough times on the other end, and maybe he would have really enjoyed that roller coaster ride in the end, as opposed to starting over and playing it safe. Now, what does all this have to do with internet marketing and being an entrepreneur and growing your online business? Well, many people are afraid to actually see their business become a business because it might get tough and scary, or they might have to change course, or they might get confused and not know what to do next, or they might even have to admit that they were wrong or that something isn't working. So, is this fear problem something that you can solve in the next 10 seconds? Is it something that won't rear its head sometime later? Well, heck no, it's going to be a thing that's just kind of always there that you need to deal with and, confront. But if you felt that you've restarted the game too many times and you haven't finished that sales letter, that information product, or maybe you've neglected your blog or podcast, well, maybe it's possible that you need to ride the wave of failure down only to ride an even bigger wave of success back up. But you are the only one who can say that that kind of statement is true. So I honestly believe that you should focus on whatever you think your best chance of making money is for the next 30 days and commit yourself to that singular goal and take 4 actions per day in service of that goal. And I also think that a long-term goal of yours, and this might be kind of scary, but stick with me for a second. I think that a long-term goal of yours is to have 300 pieces of content. Now, whatever that means to you, if that means quick YouTube videos, short podcasts, whatever, that lead back to you and your websites, your opt-in forms, and your sales letters. So 300 pieces of content, which I know it sounds like a lot, but stick with me because I'm not saying you should have 300 pieces of content overnight, but 300 pieces of content should be your long-term goal in order to bring in enough traffic to sustain you and your business. So I think that our WP import plugin is a great tool to fill up a blog with content, whether that's content you did or that you didn't write yourself. Maybe you wrote it, or maybe you spoke it out, maybe you hired it. So WP import allows you to schedule lots and lots of content on your blog. You can drip feed it in the future or backdate it. And then our Podcast Crusher podcasting course is a wonderful complement to that tool because podcasting allows you to quickly speak out whatever's on your mind. And you can even have other experts create the content for you, which they will gladly do. So I've interviewed 125 people for my podcast in the past 143 days, just over 1 per day on average. So 125 in 143 days. And it's only been an extra time commitment of about 4 hours per week on my part, which would be a lot less if I chose not to publish 5 days a week, and I can always change that. Now that's increased the blog traffic quite a bit, and it's opened up a ton of doors, which means joint ventures. Those are things that I didn't have previously. And I'm already on the schedule with a few other marketers to appear on their shows so that I can provide value to them and introduce me to their audience. So I hope that in the coming year, in the coming weeks, that you aren't afraid to set yourself on the path that has the best chance of success for you. Now repeat it for 30 days with 4 daily tasks every day with that ultimate goal of having 300 pieces of content. Now, pieces of content could be a written post, could be a podcast episode like this one, a YouTube video you found. So you do that, you repeat, you follow through, and then look back at those 30 days of successes and failures with the self-awareness so you can course correct. And If you're near a phone or a web browser, or you can get to a web page, take a second and go to robertplank.com/afraid, because we have a quick poem from Mother Teresa. I hope it's okay for me to post this. And we do use the term God in this poem, but God can mean, whatever you think it means, like higher power, fate, whatever. But we have this sort of poem by Mother Teresa, and I think it's really good. So robertplank.com/afraid, that's AFRAID. And here's the poem by Mother Teresa. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered, but forgive them anyway. If you're kind, people may accuse you of being selfish or having ulterior motives, but be kind anyway. If you're successful, you'll win unfaithful friends and genuine enemies, but succeed anyway. And if you're honest and sincere, people may deceive you, but be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight, but create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous, be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough, but give your best anyway. And in the final analysis, it is between you and God, and it was never between you and them anyway. It's a great little poem from Mother Teresa. That's at robertplank.com/afraid. Go and check it out, and check out WP Import at wpimport.com, Podcast Crusher at podcastcrusher.com, and check out the show on iTunes at robertplank.com/iTunes. Subscribe, rate, and review it. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you very, very soon.